On my daughter's birthday, my wife fed her sleeping pills. Through tears, she asked me, if there's another life, I don't want Lily to suffer like this. I said, there won't be another life. Lily is my daughter, and I'll make those people pay. If you still love me, live well with our daughter. I won't let anyone hurt you again. Shaking her head while crying, she forced a faint smile. It's all too late now. I watched her laughing through tears, feeling a sharp pang in my heart. I love her. The sleeping pills were bought by me for her. I wouldn't blame her if she gave them to our daughter. 1. My daughter is named Lily Chen, 4 years old, attending Westwood Kindergarten. My wife works as a company administrator. After leaving the military, I got a job at City Hall. The family was ordinary but happy. Every day when she went to school, her mother would dress her up beautifully. I, on the other hand, would pack her little backpack full of delicious snacks. Thinking this would prevent her from being bullied in kindergarten, I even reminded her she could share the treats with other children. But it was precisely this reminder of mine that ruined her entire life. The teacher's call came at 2:30 in the afternoon. I rushed to the kindergarten with her mother in a panic, only to find our daughter crying so hard that her little face was flushed and her eyes were swollen. Her voice was already hoarse. My wife hurried over to hug her, scolding the teacher for why no one had attended to the child while she cried like this. Why did it take so long to call us? But the teacher stood by indifferently, arms crossed, sneering, your child just stole something. We scolded her a little, and she started crying endlessly. So annoying. I exploded on the spot and lunged at her. Who are you calling a thief? My heart shattered watching the child cry like this. I quickly scooped up my daughter to comfort her. Daddy's here, don't be afraid. She trembled in my arms, crying until her face turned purple. Her eyes were swollen beyond recognition, her throat fiery red from crying. My wife argued with the teacher. Where's your principal? I want to speak to your supervisor. The principal isn't here. I'm calling the school district office right now. What kind of kindergarten is this? How can you ignore a child crying like this? Seeing my wife about to make a complaint call, the teacher seemed frightened and hesitantly explained what had happened. After lunch, during snack time, a child named Mason discovered his paper cupcake was missing. Crying, he claimed someone had stolen his cake. Then a little classmate stood up and said it was our Lily who stole it. The teacher came over to check and found traces of icing on Lily's dress, asking her what had happened. Lily didn't know. Just then 2 more classmates stood up saying they saw Lily go to Mason's seat during free activity time and rummage through his storage cubby. Other classmates also said they saw Lily secretly eating Mason's cake. My wife came over and asked our daughter, Lily, did you take someone else's things? Lily tearfully insisted she hadn't. The teacher snorted disdainfully. My wife asked what she meant by that. The teacher pointed at the other kids and said, everyone saw it. What more is there to say? Children don't lie. My wife responded with a cold smile, children don't lie? 2. The pain was like a knife stuck in my throat. As a father, I failed to protect my own daughter. Tormented, I wished I could raze this place to the ground. Let's go to the hospital first, okay? I think something's wrong with our daughter. I told my wife our daughter kept convulsing. Her face grew increasingly purple, her breathing rapid, as if struggling for air. The teacher immediately scoffed sarcastically. What could possibly be the matter? Crying like this over a few words, this is all because parents spoil their kids. Stealing and still can't take criticism? Who's going to control this child in the future? Frankly, I can't handle this anymore. Whoever wants to deal with it can go ahead. I really wanted to tear her tongue out, but right now, all I could think about was my daughter's safety. My wife drove while I held our daughter. No one from the kindergarten came with us. At the hospital, my wife carried our daughter for the checkup. I'm waiting for the kindergarten to give me an explanation. Shortly after, my wife came out holding our daughter and accompanied by a doctor. The doctor said our daughter cried for too long, resulting in brain hypoxia that requires further observation. There's also damage to her vocal cords and tonsils, they explained. My wife, deeply worried, suggested, let's have her hospitalized. Upon hearing this, the kindergarten teacher who had rushed over upon hearing the news remarked impatiently, crying a little and needing hospitalization? This child is just too delicate. Before she could finish her sentence, I rushed forward, grabbed the back of her neck, and pinned her against the glass window. What the hell kind of nonsense are you spouting? Look at how young she is, I snapped. The teacher struggled to get up, but I pressed her down firmly. She screamed in agony. I've already investigated the matter thoroughly. Your daughter was caught stealing and cried like this herself. What are we supposed to do about it? Have you even investigated properly before accusing my daughter of stealing? My wife refused to let it go and stepped forward to hit her, but was stopped by the security guards who rushed over. I was also pulled away. The teacher broke free, stiffened her neck defiantly, and pointed at me furiously. Low-class parents raise undisciplined children. How dare you defend stealing? I'm calling the police. I'm calling the police right now. They made a huge commotion for quite a while, until the police arrived. The police took us into separate rooms. One officer said to me, no matter what happened with the child, it was wrong of you to pin someone against the glass. Later, you should apologize to her and try to resolve this amicably. I found it ridiculous. They bullied my child like that, and now I'm the one who's wrong. The officer sighed helplessly. I understand how you feel. Later, we'll check the kindergarten's surveillance footage to see exactly what happened. Leaving the office, I refuse to apologize. Do whatever you want. If anything happens to my daughter, I won't just press her against the glass, I'll hit someone, even kill someone. Go ahead and sue if you want. The teacher pointed at me and said to the police officer, see, this is exactly the kind of rude behavior I'm talking about. The officer tried to reason with me. Don't bother, my child didn't steal anything. The kindergarten and that teacher must apologize to my daughter. The teacher scoffed. She didn't steal? All those kids saw it, how can you say she didn't? Kids never lie, you should know your own daughter best as parents. Feeling ashamed now? What were you doing earlier? Damn it, that's the last thing I want to hear. What do you mean kids don't lie? Are all children inherently kind? 4. I firmly believe my daughter wouldn't steal. I demanded to see the surveillance footage. My wife and I went to speak with the principal of Westwood Kindergarten. We absolutely need to get to the bottom of this. The kindergarten director received us in her office and listened to our animated account of what happened. She simply smiled and said, so you're saying a child's cake went missing, your daughter had frosting on her dress, and then several children told the teacher your daughter stole and ate someone else's cake, and you believe our teacher was at fault during this process? Wasn't she? I raised my voice in agitation. Was any investigation even conducted before accusing our child of stealing? Are you suggesting there was something wrong with how our teacher handled the situation? I couldn't stand the director's attitude anymore. I said bluntly, I want to see the surveillance footage, I want to watch the security recordings from my daughter's classroom that day. The principal sneered, saying there was no need. How could there be no need? The principal, don't make such a big fuss over nothing. It's just a joke among a few kids, just a piece of cake. Whether it was stolen or not, whatever, it's all in the past now. What do you mean no big fuss? If it were your daughter being accused like this, what would you do? I confronted her. The principal glanced at me dismissively. What's the point of saying all that? Are you implying the whole class framed your daughter for stealing? Really? Over a piece of cake? Besides, it's all in the past now. My wife got agitated. How can you say it's over? My daughter is still hospitalized right now. How is this over? The kindergarten director glared. So what are you implying then? You want us to compensate you some money, is that it? Suppressing my anger, I said, Director, are you suggesting that we're here to make frivolous complaints and extort money from you? The director remained silent, her attitude spoke volumes. Cutting to the chase, I demanded, show me the surveillance footage. I just want to know the truth of what happened. The kindergarten director stood up to leave. You're a police officer? Just because you say check the surveillance, I have to show you? If you think there's an issue with our kindergarten, you can file a complaint or call the police. I held back my furious wife. I'll go find the police. I don't believe she'd dare refuse to show them the footage. I went to seek help from the officer who took my statement that day, thinking everything would become clear once we saw the surveillance video. The officer was also happy to assist me. But, to everyone's utter surprise, before we even reached the kindergarten, something unexpected happened. Lily's cake theft incident quickly spread through the class parents' WhatsApp group. 5. Someone posted a video of Lily approaching that boy's storage compartment. Is this the thieving kid? She even looked shifty-eyed. Must be really poor at home to steal food. Parents said all sorts of things in the group chat. At teacher, I want to change my little treasures class. My baby won't stay in the same class as a thief. My wife wasn't pleased right away. Who are you calling a thief? Have you seen my daughter steal anything from anyone? Are you out of your minds? Just because you have mouths, you think you can say whatever you want. Your daughter stole and you still have the nerve to justify it? Truly, like parents, like child. Just that, my son came back saying he saw it with his own eyes, so what? The parents' group chat was buzzing back and forth. I hurried to the hospital after seeing the messages, and when I arrived at the ward, I found my wife trembling all over. Her thumb was still pressing on the phone. She kept arguing relentlessly, but the voice message failed to send. I glanced at my phone. We'd been kicked out of the group chat. What gives you the right? My wife fumed, throwing her phone onto the bed before immediately picking up the phone to call the teacher again. How dare you kick me out of the group chat? My wife kept yelling. On the other end of the phone, the teacher's voice was listless, brimming with impatience. Since you've been arguing with other parents in the group chat, I have no choice but to remove you from it temporarily. How dare you? Why don't you just kick them out of the group chat? Teacher, I'm sorry, but you were the one who started the argument with others. Damn you! Are you blind? Didn't you see they insulted my daughter first? Am I not allowed to talk back? Beep beep beep. The call ended abruptly. My wife was truly furious this time. She grabbed my sleeve and said, "Come with me to the school." 6. Kindergarten. My wife wanted to go to the classroom to find the teacher but was stopped by a security guard. The class was in session. We were ushered into the principal's office. After waiting for half an hour, the principal entered the room and looked at us with a forced smile. "Sorry, we just held a meeting about your daughter's matter." My wife didn't want to listen to her nonsense and cut straight to the point. "What right do you have to kick me out of the group chat? Call that teacher's son here right now." I want to ask her today which eye of hers saw my daughter stealing anything. Stop shouting first, calm down. The principal blocked my wife. We all heard what you said about Teacher Sunday. I couldn't help but ask, do you still care about reason? Talking about our child in the group chat, then kicking my wife out just for saying a few words, and now giving us the cold shoulder on calls. What exactly do you mean by this? Look at you two, not even letting people speak. The kindergarten director grew impatient, glaring at me and saying, you two are really something. Was I the one who kicked you out of the group chat? If not you, then wasn't it one of your teachers? Her wife wouldn't let her leave and questioned her angrily. The kindergarten director gave a cold laugh. Heh, if that's the case, then keep shouting here. I won't bother with this anymore. Go find whoever you want to complain to. After saying that, the director turned and walked away. I was so furious I could practically imagine chasing after her and twisting her head off. My wife and I were left standing there for half an hour with nobody paying us any attention. Let's go. My wife's face was dark with rage. I refuse to believe there isn't anywhere that can hold them accountable. We drove to the school district office together. The staff member in charge of reception greeted us and listened to our issue, pondering it carefully. Your matter still needs to be resolved back at the kindergarten. That's a private kindergarten, they only filed records with us. For something like this, you'll need to negotiate with them directly. My wife couldn't help getting agitated. Before she could lose her temper, her phone rang first. Her unit supervisor called to ask if she'd been quarreling with someone, as they had come looking for her at the company. Turned out it was the kindergarten principal and teacher. They came to my wife's workplace to file a complaint that she had verbally abused their staff. The teacher was crying dramatically to my wife's manager, mucus and tears running down her face, while the principal adopted an aggressive stance. They refused to leave without an explanation. My wife was furious and slammed the table on the spot. Go ahead and sue. My daughter was falsely accused of being a thief at your kindergarten. I haven't sued you yet, and you dare play the victim here. Did you see that? Did you see that? The park director pointed at my wife and questioned her manager. Manager, are you going to handle this? Is this how your company's employees behave? The manager at my wife's workplace was spineless too. During critical moments, he didn't know how to stand up for his own employees at all. All he wanted was to smooth things over. He made my wife apologize to them. No way. My wife refused. Why should I apologize? What did I do wrong? Principal, you're opposing parents in the group chat, insulting our teachers, and now you're doing the same at work. I really don't understand how someone like you could exist. That child is the perfect reflection of their parents. Wife, how dare you say that? As my wife was about to physically confront them but was stopped by colleagues. The manager scolded her and ordered her to leave, then put on an ingratiating smile to appease the kindergarten principal and teachers. My wife felt utterly humiliated. Overcome with anger, she left work without asking for leave and went straight home. Yet by the next day, everything at the company had changed. People started whispering behind her back, murmuring sarcastic remarks. Is that her kid? Really? Goes to the same kindergarten as my son, SHSH. Every time my wife looked over, they would pretend to be working. Unable to bear it any longer, my wife got into an argument with her colleague. She snatched the colleague's phone and only then discovered that a video of our daughter being accused at kindergarten had been posted online by someone. The video clearly showed Lily's helplessness and the accusing expressions of the other children and the teacher. Bastards! My wife threw the phone. What's your problem? The colleague snapped. It's just a video. Is it really that serious? Turning the phone over and over in my hands for inspection. This is my brand new phone bought with my own salary. Wife, what do you mean by that? Colleague, what did I say? I just mentioned buying this with my own salary. What's wrong with that? Are you implying it was stolen? Damn you, you. The argument between my wife and colleague escalated until they were pulled apart. The manager got furious, suspended my wife from duty, and told her to go home and cool off. When my wife came back, she was utterly devastated, and no matter what I asked, she wouldn't say a word. It wasn't until later that I found out. It was because of our daughter's video, which had gone viral online, and someone had doxed our family. They posted my wife's company address in the comments, prompting people to harass her workplace with calls, saying things like, how dare they employ someone like her, the mother of a thief. My wife broke down in tears. In all our years of marriage, it was the first time I'd seen her cry so bitterly from sheer anguish. At that moment, my heart felt like it was being sliced open by a knife. Piece by piece. Someone knocked on the door. It was a delivery person, saying someone had sent us a cake. At that moment, I felt murderous. The company had notified my wife not to come to work recently. My wife refused to accept it. Why? On what grounds aren't they letting me work? At the same time, the kindergarten called to say they wanted my daughter to transfer to another school. They said they were afraid it would cause misunderstandings. I couldn't help but swear. Who is my daughter attending school affecting? The principal's tone was cold over the phone. You parents should understand your own child best. When something happens, instead of trying to fix it, you're making unreasonable demands, quarreling with other parents in the group chat, and cursing our teachers. I'm sorry, but we can't accept children like yours here. Ha! My daughter was falsely accused of being a thief, and now we're the unreasonable ones. 8. My wife wanted to confront the kindergarten, but I stopped her. Our daughter's video was casually shared in the group chat without permission, which violates her right to privacy. I called the police. The officers accompanied me to the kindergarten. When the principal saw me again, she remained indifferent, claiming this matter had nothing to do with them. They claimed not to know how the video got leaked. The police requested to see the full video, but the principal flatly refused. Sorry, our cameras are under maintenance, and the footage is all gone. I grabbed the principal forcefully. What are you doing? She snapped with a false show of bravado. An officer intervened, pulling me away. Don't act so rashly. My phone vibrated. My mother-in-law was calling, asking me and my wife to come home right away. The police said they would investigate the matter and told me to go home first. I went home with my wife. My mother-in-law looked upset and handed us her phone to show us Lily's video. The neighborhood group chat was in an uproar. Like parents, like child, clearly this is a habitual offender. Mom, this is slander. My wife snatched the phone in agitation, ready to respond in the group. My mother-in-law snatched the phone and said, "Stop messing around. If you don't say anything, no one will know it's our Lily." I asked puzzled, "Mom, Lily didn't steal anything." Mother-in-law, I know, there's no way Lily would do such a thing. But let's not keep stirring up this matter. People nowadays love to take hearsay as truth. Who would listen to explanations? Just let it go. I asked my mother-in-law, "What about Lily then?" She replied, "The child is still young. We can switch her to a different kindergarten. In a few years when she's older, who will remember any of this?" My wife was stunned. Her mother's words had essentially sealed the matter. Why should Lily suffer this unjust accusation? My wife couldn't believe it, her eyes trembling as she looked at her mother. "Mom, Lily is my daughter, your granddaughter. How can you bear to let her be labeled as a thief for the rest of her life?" The mother-in-law said, "It's not that serious. Children forget these things quickly." Her wife interrupted her, crying, "Mom, I'm so disappointed. I'll handle this matter myself. You don't need to worry about it. You're afraid the neighbors will recognize Lily as my child. I promise I won't bring Lily back here ever again. I swear I won't cause you any trouble." Mother-in-law, this behavior of yours is all because I spoiled you since childhood. Have you ever stopped to think how far can your tantrums really get you? Who will go around explaining things for you one by one? Who cares whether Lily is a thief or not? People these days just love watching a spectacle. Who cares what really happened to you? My wife fell silent. We all knew my mother-in-law was right. My wife had been in a bad mood these past few days, and now she's even more depressed. Unable to bear it, she slammed the door shut and left. I chased after her. Downstairs, I saw my wife crying her heart out. Listening to her sobs, my own eyes began to tremble. Why is it that we, the victims, are the ones who have to compromise? I'm powerless and just want to swear mother *****, to put it bluntly. If my father were the mayor, would my daughter still suffer this injustice? Would my wife still endure such humiliation? I'm so useless. I cursed myself bitterly in my heart. Are we really supposed to swallow our teeth like broken glass? Should this matter really be dropped just like that? The police contacted me, saying the kindergarten still refuses to cooperate in providing surveillance footage. They need more time for investigation. I responded briefly before hanging up the phone. But does the truth of what actually happened even matter anymore? Holding my wife in my arms, I coaxed her to come home with me. Worried she might overthink things, I took a month's leave to stay with her. Every night, my wife couldn't sleep, and in worse moments, she'd even talk to herself. Fearful she might fall into despair, I prescribed her some sleeping pills. A week later, it was our daughter's birthday. My wife mentioned craving the roasted chicken from the same shop I frequently took her to when we were dating. It was rare for her to have an appetite. Excited, I drove off to buy it. When I returned home carrying the roasted chicken, I noticed my wife had locked the bedroom door. I knocked, half-jokingly saying, "Honey, enough with the games, I'm back." She didn't respond. I knocked again. Then I heard her crying. My eyes couldn't help but well up slightly. "Sweetheart, stop fooling around, open the door." She asked me through the door, crying, "If Lily and I die, will they feel guilty?" "No," I answered without hesitation. "Everyone just wants to see the spectacle. No one truly cares about you. Darling, open the door. Whatever it is, we'll face it together." Silence answered from behind the door. I gritted my teeth and kicked it open. What I saw made my vision turn red. Sleeping pill bottles lay scattered across the floor. My wife and Lily were clinging to each other, sleeping peacefully. I rushed over and embraced them. By the time the medical personnel arrived, neither had stirred. After a full day and night of emergency treatment, my wife and Lily remained unconscious in the hospital ward. I haven't told anyone about their situation, not even my mother-in-law. I stood by the hospital bed all night long, reminiscing about my days serving on the front lines, those vows we made, those memories flashing before my eyes scene by scene. With bloodshot eyes, I lit a cigarette furiously in the hallway. I called my workplace to take a month's leave. I washed my face in the hospital bathroom and shaved clean with the razor I'd bought. I widened my eyes hard, trying to shake off my haggard look. Children don't lie, but they sure can talk nonsense. 10. I went to the kindergarten. It was just about time for dismissal. I went to retrieve the school bag my daughter hadn't had time to pack up. I found that all the snacks I'd packed for her were still there, except for the cake. Inside the bag was the empty cake wrapper. I rubbed my finger across the leftover frosting. It was the same as what had gotten on Lily's dress. "Ha, Uncle, is Lily not coming anymore?" A little girl came up to me. I smiled politely and stroked her hair. "Yes, it's all because Uncle was careless. He brought expired cake to Lily at school, and she got a stomachache from eating it. She probably won't be able to come to class for a long time." Did Lily get a stomachache from eating? Children are always curious. I patted her hair like a kindly old father. "Yes, she's getting shots at the hospital. It really hurts, so you mustn't get a stomachache, okay?" After saying that, I playfully gave her tummy a little poke. "Shots really hurt," she laughed, dodging backward. I asked which one was Mason's classmate, and a little girl pointed him out to me. I walked over and crouched down to look at him. He looked at me timidly. "I'm Lily's father. I mixed rat poison into the cake I brought for Lily. You'd better not have eaten it." I scared him. Suddenly, he burst into tears, mouth wide open. I could see right down his throat. "Cry all you want. Lily's still in the hospital fighting for her life. How much did you eat? Doesn't your stomach hurt?" "Ah!" He burst into tears, crying and clutching his stomach in pain. I left the classroom before the teacher arrived outside the kindergarten. I waited for a long time before seeing an old woman hurriedly step out of a taxi. Probably Mason's guardian. I walked over, and before the old woman could react, I grabbed her. "Are you Mason's parent?" She looked at me confused. "Who are you?" The old woman had the look of someone unreasonable, so I quickly explained. "Has your child been complaining of stomach pain?" "Yes." "Who are you?" "Never mind who I am. Hurry and take your child to the hospital. I heard from other parents that there's something wrong with the kindergarten's food. My kid started complaining about stomach pain last night, and his mother is still at the hospital with him right now." "Oh my!" The old woman shrieked and rushed into the kindergarten. I shouted from behind, "Are you in the parents' group chat? If you are, quickly ask if anyone else's child has the same symptoms. Did they all eat the same thing?" The old lady pulled out her phone while running, calling someone. I couldn't tell who. I didn't leave. I just stood across from the kindergarten. Shortly after, a crowd of parents arrived, noisily charging into the kindergarten. Watching the children being carried out of the kindergarten one by one, seeing the grim expressions on all the parents' faces, I couldn't help but sneer. I recorded a random, incoherent video on my phone and posted it online. I mentioned that many kids at the kindergarten had been picked up by their parents and wondered if something had happened. Within less than an hour, someone commented under my video saying the kindergarten had served the children unclean food, resulting in collective stomachaches, with over 10 kids already complaining of belly pain. The video surpassed 1 million views in 2 hours and was reposted by several media outlets. I couldn't help but laugh. If the police were to hold someone accountable for spreading rumors, it probably shouldn't concern me. After all, I merely posed a question without suggesting any specific reasons. Sure enough, within just a few hours, the police called me. They informed me they'd traced online videos about livelihood issues that had caused public panic back to me, and requested my presence at the police station. Fine, I'll go then. At the police station, I saw the kindergarten principal looking grim. She was frantically making phone calls, visibly flustered. When she saw me, she clearly froze for a moment. "It was you who posted that video." "Yes, it was me," I admitted bravely. The officer asked me to sit down and questioned why I had posted such a video. I looked at him naively. I saw so many parents picking up their kids, got curious, and just randomly recorded a clip to post online and ask about. The principal: how could you just post it randomly? Do you have any idea how much damage you've caused us?" I didn't know what to say. I turned to the police. "Is there a problem with me recording the video? Did I say the kindergarten was feeding kids expired food?" That's what people commented below. The principal: "If you hadn't posted the video, would anyone have said anything?" Me: "If you truly have no food safety issues, why fear others talking about it? I seriously suspect you might be using substandard ingredients." Officer: "I suggest calling the health department for a thorough inspection." The kindergarten director was furious with me. I glared and said, "If you're not afraid of an inspection, I'll make the call right now." The director fell silent. I curled my lip in disdain. So much for having nothing to hide. Even the police officer frowned at her. The director protested, "I swear to heaven, our food sanitation is absolutely up to standard." The officer didn't look at her but at me, politely asking if I could delete the video. With an apologetic expression, I said, "Sorry officer, my phone's broken, I can't log in anymore." 11. The principal was slamming the table in anger. This is slander. I'm suing you. I couldn't have cared less. The police didn't say anything else, just let me leave while mentioning they'd find a way to delete the video themselves. If I can remember the password, I could delete it myself. I definitely won't delete it. Unexpectedly, after a day, the police contacted me again, asking me to come to the station. This time, the attitude was clearly different. Inside the police station, the kindergarten principal's face was brimming with smug satisfaction. The officer's face was grim as he handed me his laptop, asking if the person in the video was me. The video was recorded at the kindergarten, on the day I packed Lily's school bag. My conversation with Mason. The principal chimed in from the side. Lily's parent, let me tell you, our kindergarten has suffered significant losses this time. You can expect a lawsuit. The police asked me, what did you say to that child? Why did their parents rush to pick them up from kindergarten 20 minutes after you left? And within the following 10 minutes, many other parents came to collect their children. It was also at that exact moment the video of the kindergarten serving unclean food to children got leaked. I didn't want to speak. The officer glared at me coldly. You were also the one who posted that video online. This was premeditated, wasn't it? The kindergarten director stood up and stared at me with a mocking tone. Lily's parent, I will hold you criminally responsible. You know, me? Oh. I glanced at the policeman, then looked at the triumphant-looking kindergarten director. I couldn't help laughing. I told that kid the cake I brought for my daughter was laced with rat poison, and that she's in the hospital getting emergency treatment. Then I asked if his stomach hurt. If it did, he'd better hurry to the hospital so he wouldn't die. The principal's face turned pale upon hearing this. The police officer was stunned. Is this for real? I shrugged my shoulders. Well, my daughter really is in the hospital being resuscitated, and we've had mice in our garage lately. If you don't believe what I'm saying, you can go ask that child. Children don't lie. 12. I smirked at the kindergarten director. The director's face darkened as he hurried out of the police station. Mason's grandmother rushed to the police station with the child upon hearing the news. The moment she entered the room, she burst into loud, heart-wrenching wails. The child also started crying. Officer, ever since our child came home yesterday, he's been complaining of stomachaches. You must uphold justice for us. She clutched a handful of medical bills. Just look at how much we've spent. She spotted me and pointed at me, shouting, you're the one who fed my child cake laced with rat poison. How dare you do such a wicked thing? Me? Ha, old lady, are you mistaken? You think I'd feed your kid a cake laced with rat poison? Didn't your kid claim that my daughter Lily stole and ate their cake? Now my girl's still in the hospital fighting for her life, and I haven't even asked you for compensation yet. The old woman glared. Who gave your kid cake to eat? I never bring snacks to school for my grandson. At this point, the truth is clear. I took my phone out of my coat pocket, stopped the recording, and posted the video online in front of everyone. The old woman panicked. Why are you sending me away? Officer, he's violating my portrait rights. I couldn't care less. Pinned to the top, and even paid to promote it. The old woman rushed over to snatch my phone, but I jerked my hand away forcefully. Her wrist twisted free, and she tumbled to the ground. Ouch, my back. The child rushed over to hit me, shouting, don't hit my grandma. The force wasn't strong, but the glare was downright vicious. I stared coldly at him with ruthless eyes. Which eye of yours saw me hitting your grandma? Spouting lies at such a young age. Who taught you that? Truly, like parent, like child. The policeman came over and pulled the child away. The old woman got up from the ground. Officer, you all saw it. He hit me first. I can't take it anymore. I can't, and my heart condition is acting up. No sooner had she spoken than she lay back down steadily on the ground. I couldn't be bothered to intervene. The video spread widely and was even mentioned by mainstream media. Now whenever the old woman steps outside, people recognize her and whisper behind her back. The old woman couldn't take it anymore and sued me, accusing me of violating her privacy rights and poisoning her grandson. But for some reason, she withdrew the lawsuit. The lawyer contacted me, saying they hoped we could sit down and talk. I was disappointed. Why withdraw the lawsuit? I finally managed to stir up attention. What am I supposed to do now that you've withdrawn it? Your video made the whole country aware of this, even official media commented on it. Their family can't stay here anymore. Every time she steps outside, people point fingers and say she's the one who taught her grandson to frame others. Their family is now willing to compensate you for all damages, just hoping you'll delete the video. I sank into deep thought. And what about kindergarten? How do you explain that? The lawyer knew what I wanted to ask and said sincerely, because of the video you posted, several departments jointly conducted an inspection and actually found that the kindergarten's hygiene standards were subpar. It's now been shut down for rectification. I was pleasantly surprised. See, I told you, there must have been hygiene issues. The lawyer looked at me speechlessly. Even if it's your own kitchen, with this much public pressure for a surprise inspection, they're bound to find issues. It'd be strange if they didn't find anything. The lawyer continued, at its core, this whole incident was caused by that teacher and the kindergarten director's negligence. They deserve to be suspended. They've already been warned by the education department, and their enrollment qualifications for next year have been revoked. This is going to cost them quite a bit of money, the lawyer said, thinking this should satisfy me. I remained deep in thought, glancing at the lawyer. You know, my wife had to take sleeping pills because of this incident. The lawyer said, tell me your thoughts. My demand was simple. The kindergarten must publicly apologize to my daughter and wife online. The lawyer hesitated. What about the old lady? I couldn't help but laugh. She's so elderly, how could I possibly demand compensation from her? We'll be neighbors after all, seeing each other frequently. Let's just drop it. 13. The principal and teachers recorded an apology video. I got scolded badly by netizens. I asked my wife, feel better now? If not, let's keep causing trouble. My wife was very happy. Our daughter returned to normal too. Kids cry hard but forget quickly when they're sad. To make my daughter happy, I went to pick her up from school every day. But for some reason, that kid named Mason would burst into tears every time he saw me. He cried so miserably. Later, the old lady called the police. The old lady told the police that I scare her little grandson every day after school, either by glaring at the child or saying frightening things to him. I said that was unfair. Nobody has rules about where your eyeballs should look. Officer, then why do you always stare at their kid? Me, because their kid is adorable. Then why scare the child? I was astonished. How did I scare him? I just asked if his stomach hurt and if he wanted to eat some cockroach chicken nuggets. Does that count as scaring him? The old lady gasped. Listen to that. Officer, have you ever heard of cockroach chicken nuggets before? The policeman was speechless. I pulled out my phone to show him. My friend and I co-own a fried chicken shop, and our signature product is called cockroach chicken nuggets. I wasn't breaking any laws by promoting it here, was I? The officer sighed helplessly. But you can't keep bothering just this one child with your promotions. I said disappointedly, then I'll bring some samples for him to try next time. The old lady got agitated. Who wants to eat your stuff? Fine, don't eat it then. No need to get so worked up. Even the police couldn't do anything, so the matter had to be dropped. Later, that Mason transferred schools. I was heartbroken for days. What a waste of my cockroach chicken nuggets. My wife went back to work, and her colleagues apologized to her. The manager also had a special talk with her and said sorry. Our family is ordinary but happy. For this, I specifically thanked an army buddy of mine who now works at the city hall. It's true that having connections makes things easier. In the evening, our whole family curled up on the sofa watching TV. My wife suddenly asked me, do you think in this society, if you have no money, no power, and no status, you can't achieve anything? If you're wronged, you just have to swallow it. There's nowhere to seek justice. I turned to look at her, rolled my eyes, and said, isn't home the place where you can speak your mind? The end.